When you've been doing this Charlie thing as long as I have and we have, you realize that there are some, how do I say this? There are never ending obvious questions. Questions that you can't believe you're even asking. And one of the questions we're asking is, where's Charlie buried? Where is he buried? Where is he? It's the simplest thing. And a couple of times, Erica said, well, the dignity and the dignity. You were the one who basically propped up your husband's corpse on social media as you were mic'd up and lay atop the corpse, whispering for purposes of this production. It was the most despicable thing anybody's ever seen. That should have been private. And all of a sudden, you don't want to say, well, we don't want to say where he is because what? Grave robbers? None of it makes any sense. A lot of people are asking, like Candace, is he cremated? And other people are asking, is he even alive? Is he dead? Is he dead? My friends, we're going to be going through this right now. The questions, so many to answer. And I invite you. I'm so glad you can be with us on a Saturday night. I'd rather be, I don't know where else I'd rather be than with you. So before we get going and before you weigh in with your incredible perspectives, first, this incredibly important word from our sponsor. Everybody's talking about AI, a smarter future, a faster future, everything connected, everything in the cloud. Well, what happens? What happens when it breaks? What happens when the system holding your money gets hacked or artificial intelligence becomes sophisticated enough to identify patterns and exploit weaknesses and target the accounts you trusted with your financial future? Think about it. How much of what you own exists only as numbers on a screen? That's why so many Americans are choosing something real, physical gold, physical silver, assets you can actually hold. Click the special link below to learn how Noble Gold can deliver precious metals to your door or place them in a tax-advantaged retirement account. And to celebrate America's 250th birthday, viewers who use my link and open a new qualified account will receive a free 10-ounce silver bar. In an increasingly digital world, own something real. Protect what you've earned. Click the special link below now. My friends, I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to take us through. I really don't. I don't know where we should go through this or how we should go through this. But I will tell you something which is very, very important, very, very critical. Sometimes the stories that are the most important, are that which are the most obvious. And they have been, for whatever reason, left, ignored, forgotten, for reasons I shan't understand. Michael P. says, Erica Kirk, weird scene number 1, caressing the corpse while mic'd. Number 2, blurting out of nowhere that she wants Charlie Kirk's burial place kept secret. Suspect from day one. Not that Charlie Kirk is alive, but that Erica Kirk cannot be trusted. Indeed. We're talking about something, my friends, that is just so monumentally important, monumentally critical. This is something which a lot of people want to know. So my question very simply to you is this. What do you think, dear friends? What is your take? What is your belief? Now, let me talk about something which is very interesting. People from time to time will do this, and I don't know why, but they will. Let me explain to you why. There is a tendency for many people to believe or to suggest that certain people are alive. We heard it with in the case of Epstein. We heard it in the case of a lot of other people, where people said, and we thought, and many people thought, that there was somehow, that it's possible. Now, I want you to think about this. Do you think it is remotely possible, and I say this, Do you believe it is remotely possible for there to be someone alive today, alive, they took Charlie and I'm just in general, Charlie or Epstein, and they say you are going to go someplace else. Charlie, 6'3", 6'5", whatever he is, big Charlie. You're going to go somewhere else. Your parents are going to be internet, apparently, or maybe we're going to keep it from them, which is so cruel. There's going to be, in this particular case, a lot of other things, which is very, very critical. There's going to be, obviously, morgue photos and testimony. There's going to be political. I mean, it is so impossible. It's not even funny. Dan says, hey, Lionel, I watch every episode and donate sometimes. I'm one of the top creators on OnlyFans. It was a little sad to hear you say how horrible we were earlier. Also wrong, Mike, you are echoing. Am I echoing? Hang on a minute. This might, you know what? Am I echoing? Let me see something here. Echoing. Let me ask you something very good. Does anybody hear me echoing? Am I echoing? Let me ask. Anybody? Hang on a minute. Anybody? Do you hear me echoing? Is there an echo? No echo. Yeah, I don't hear any echo. Van Anken, thank you so much, says corpse. No, hang on. Says corpse hug and sprinklers are very normal. Thank you. OnlyFans, as I said today, it's legal. It is a great way for people to take control of that. But if my daughter did that, my wife, if anybody, I would be very upset with that. I'll be very upset with it. And I'm not going to lie and tell you, oh, I think it's great. I think it's demeaning. And I don't mean to. I did not know you were an OnlyFans person. It's very rare that we have members who are Noam Chomsky is a OnlyFans person. I thank you for your support, but I'm not going to lie to you. It's something that I think is kind of sad. I know it's very lucrative, and I know it's terrific, and I know that there are people who do a lot of things, and it's not coerced, it's not criminal, it's not a lot of things. But I think it's sad, and it's not something I think that people should be proud of, because you're taking an essence. And I don't know. I'm not familiar with. I'm not an OnlyFans customer or consumer, so I don't know. And I'm sure yours might be tasteful. Or I don't know what you do. But I've got to tell you something. I don't like it. I want people to be able to do this, but if my daughter did it, I would be crushed. If there's nothing about it that I think is even remote, it's sad. It is demeaning. And there's something about taking your body, your intimacy, and again, I don't know what you do. I don't know if you're solo or if you're with other people. I don't know. But it's my opinion. It should not be illegal. And by the way, if you don't like it, people should not do it. I said the same thing, by the way, as well as about beauty pageants. I think beauty pageants, and I said very quickly, I think might be worse. I also gave the example of I had some clients who were nude dancers, and I kind of respected them more by virtue of what they did because they were very upfront about it. But I would not like that either. As much as I think they're nice people, I think it's demeaning. Dear Lano, do you think they cremated Charlie to hide the road mic evidence and probable burn marks on his body? I do not know if I do not believe that necessarily, but there are pictures. There are pictures which are taken, one would think, by the medical examiners, and they would be available. And I think it's a very, very fascinating thing. Somebody says maybe your voice is being captured by the computer mic. Wow. Do you think so? Thank you, Vaughn. Now, again, I asked, nobody heard an echo, so that's fine. Nobody heard an echo, Mike, so let me check one more thing here. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. There we go. There we go. How is that? How is that? Let me see something. Let me go back to There's Vaughn. I have to go. Dan Dangler. Thank you for that. You were correct. It was my mic was incorrect. All right. Are we fair enough about that? Again, it's a free country. You do whatever you want. I'm not going to lie to you. Quick question. Quick question of the group. I don't think anybody's suggesting, but do you think OnlyFans is a good thing, honorable? Would you want your daughter to do it? Dan, would you want your daughter to do it? Do you think it's something that basically showing whatever you do, you know what you know what it does? Anybody think it's honorable? Anybody? 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 Anybody think this is good? Did you see this? No. I don't think anybody. No. Nope. Nope. Again, I'm going to say this again. I'm saying the word again a lot. It doesn't bother anybody. It doesn't hurt anybody. Nobody's forced to watch it. It's not something that is in any way harmful to kids. So anyway, enough about that. Something is so wrong, so cosmically wrong about this Charlie case. We audio engineers are weird, but sometimes we can help. Let me get this. Von Ecken, Jillian, do you, am I correct now? Let me just ask, let me get this out of the way. Are you hearing an echo? Are you hearing an echo? Just say no echo, yes echo. Not no, because I don't know if it's no from the last question. Do you hear an echo? Again, nope. Put no echo. Just some of you understand this. Dan says, I used to stream, no problem. It's a whole technical operation. Oh, it is. I'm sure it is. I'll bet you it is. I'll bet you it is. Great, no echo. I listen. There's a lot going on right now. I used to have this thing where I thought that prostitution, sex work, should be legal because it's just two people contracting to have sex. Not anymore. There is no such thing as somebody who decides, oh, I'm going to be a sex worker and I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to just make some money on the side. Like instead of driving an Uber, there are pimps. There are subjugation. I think it should be legal only for that's called the equality model. It should be legal for I don't want to say prostitute, but for the sex worker, whatever you want to call it. I think there should be procedures to allow their records to be expunged because many of them had to do that because of sex, because of a drug addiction, or because they were compelled to do that. But legalized prostitution, no. That's something which I changed my mind about only because I did not understand how that worked. That's that. In any event. Now, number 3, 4, 5, whatever this is, I forget the number of all of this. Why do you think, or let me ask you, do you believe, you have another one here, faking your own death is not inherently illegal in Utah, as there is no specific state or federal statutes that explicitly bans pseudocide. No, if you do it in order to finalize or to bring about the conversion of, let's say, real estate or probate wills or things like that, yes, that is fraudulent. A Goosebump says, I don't trust those sick elites after the Epstein files. They hated Charlie so much at the end that they probably defiled his corpse. I don't know about they defiled his corpse. It's harder for people to just fake deaths or to have somebody alive and let's switch the bodies and all that. It sounds easy, very difficult. Not only that, you've got to be this stuff. You've got to be the person who's someplace else, who's kept. Charlie, you're going to be in Butte, Montana, but I don't want to be. No, it sounds good. I think many of us, some of us, are so skeptical by virtue of how you've been lied to that you believe anything. Somebody during the comment section before, he said, "Why are you fixated? Why are you fixated with Erica? This is the biggest story. Do you not see her? Have you ever seen anything like this? Have you ever? It's like a Columbo episode. It's incredible. It's incredible. And what I mean by that is, and what's important to note about this, it is so the characters. I don't know if you get this. You probably don't do it, but I get this. So people, I always say, "Are you talking about Israel again? Are you talking about the Strait of Hormuz again? You're not talking about the Strait of Hormuz again, are you? Jesus, enough of the Strait of Hormuz. Enough." It's a very important and critical thing. Well, I know, but you keep talking about it. Well, yeah. See, I think I have not known many real con artists in the world. I've not known a lot of people who are really seriously, how do I say this? Con artists. Real, how do I say this? It's very strange thing. It's a very, very, very thing. It's a strange concept. I guess I've always liked, I say cons to an extent. I've always loved wrestling, and I've always loved the idea of deception. I've always done that. By the way, OnlyFans to an extent is cons. Hello, John. Again, I don't know what you do, but whatever it is, like, okay, we're going to do the Cleveland necktie here, all right, for a bit of, whatever it is. Oh, hey, I'm so glad you're here. It's got to be tough to do, by the way, OnlyFans, when you feel like crap. It's like, oh, I got a flu. Oh, I got to do that. Oh, jeez. I'm not saying it's not tough work. Laura Ann says, as a lawyer, what do you think the defense team will use to get Tyler the verdict they need? You mean to acquit him? I will tell you exactly what they will do. It's a very good question. I'll tell you exactly what they will do. First and foremost, what they will do is they will say that you have not. They will probably start off with a motion to suppress, motion to deny, but not deny. There's no such thing as motion to deny, but motion to suppress the rifle. And the reason why the rifle is because it is inconclusive. It is the lint brush. It is the lint brush. There is no reason to include, and there's no reason. There's just, number one, two things: motion to suppress, do not include, do not mention, do not include, exclude from the evidence this rifle. Number two, a motion in limine, which means you can't even discuss rifles being found. Makes sense to me if you're not going to introduce it. Why? Because the rifle has not been connected to anything. Inconclusive. If you get on your scale and your digital scale, remember the old days when you get on a scale and you go, what the hell is that? Is that a half? Is it? I can't even read it. Can you get down there and look at this? Now it's, the 0.3, it tells you exactly. But let's say you get on your scale and nothing goes on. It's not inconclusive what you weigh. It doesn't work.
Johnny Lane says, maybe Charlie is buried under the concrete pad that was poured. No. On the very spot within 48 hours. No, no, no. That's clever. It's clever. Sean said, by the way, love you so much, Lionel. You're the best. Thank you, Sean. No, he's not. He's not there. But there's no such thing as inconclusive. There is no link. Inconclusive. If you are charged with possession of cocaine and they take this powder out, they should do the Valtox test, the field reagent. They put it in this thing, they shake it, and if it turns purple, it's cocaine. And if it doesn't turn, they don't say inconclusive, they say it's not cocaine. Well, it might not work. It's not cocaine. If you do a home pregnancy test, why you want to find out if your home is pregnant, I have no idea. You take your urine and you drop it in and you go, oh, it says negative. No, it's inconclusive. No, it says no. It says not pregnant. You're not pregnant. So this inconclusive is business. So number one, motion to suppress. Keep that out. Do not use this. It's not motion to suppress. It's a wrong term because you didn't seize it incorrectly. It's not a Fourth Amendment violation. It's more of a motion to exclude, motion to eliminate. Don't bring it up. Michelle Catania says, Erica bleaches her hair so much she fried her brain. You know, yeah. Bleaching hair is so, dyeing your hair, coloring. I'm coloring my hair. That is so commonplace. The worst is when men do it. When men do it and you get that hair the color of tang. There's this fellow, what's his name? Pape. He's a very interesting, he's a great analyst at the University of Chicago. He's got this like weird color, red maroon. It's like, what is that? What's wrong with your gray hair? Nobody even notices you, but now they look at you like, what's the color? Anyway, so we keep that. We don't mention the rifle. Now, with that comes a motion to dismiss, and the reason is, how can you go to trial when you have no explanation for how you've killed someone? How can you be charged with aggravated murder or homicide when I don't know how you did it? Let me say this again. How do you say this person is guilty of what? Of murdering Charlie. How? I don't know, but he just did it. Evil thoughts, a ray gun, Ronald Reagan. I don't know. You can't convict somebody of murder if you don't know how it was done. And the fact that they found a rifle there doesn't mean anything. What if they found a bazooka? They found a musket. They found a flintlock. They found, so what? They had nothing to do with it too. It's that simple. Lisa Ann, ladies and gentlemen, says, I love your take on things. You are truly an asset to our team. Oh, I love that. I love the fact that we're on a team. That's exactly right. And by the way, remember what I told you. If I didn't think this was true, I wouldn't say it. I'm never going to say something just to be, okay, let me just pretend that I'm, believe me. No. It's true. It's absolutely true. At least what's important to understand in others as well is that this is a very logical thing. We can learn a lot about kind of, trial work and things if we talk about this. Let me go back again. I want you to think about this. Ask yourself, ask anybody, ask your friends, say, let's assume you go back into the jury room and you have the jury verdict form and it's going to be guilty, not guilty, or it could be theoretically be a hung jury, it could be a mistrial, but let's just don't complicate it. And you say, all right, everybody in favor of guilty, raise your hand. Okay, good. Now let me ask you, who wants to go first? How did Tyler kill Charlie? How? And if they say, well, they found the DNA, it's inconclusive. Yeah, but there was DNA on it. It was inconclusive. They found DNA on the lint brush. They found a DNA on a bazooka. He wasn't hit by a bazooka. So the DNA doesn't mean anything. And while we're at it, why is Junebug or Lancelot's DNA on it as well? Does that make any sense to you? Does that make any sense to you? So before we go into anything else, the jury says it's not guilty. Why? Because we don't have a murder weapon. We don't even know how. If you could say it was strangulation, it was suffocation. Why? Petechial hemorrhaging. You can see that in the eye and the sclera, the white part of the eye. You see this very simple, not simple, but this hemorrhaging. Normally around this, when you see suffocation and strangulation, the blood pressure goes up and a little fine vascularity pops in the eye. You see petechial hemorrhaging. Very, very so. You don't need a pillow for that. There's ways you can, that's one argument. This is a gunshot wound. He didn't die of a heart attack. He died of a gunshot wound to the neck. So that's it. Thank you very much. Let's go right now. How does the state counter this? No, Your Honor, we have other evidence. Evidence of what? How did Tyler Robinson kill Charlie? How? That's like an Indian from F Troop. How? We don't know. We don't go anywhere after that. We don't go anywhere further. We don't go anywhere after that. That is it. And nobody's talking about, I don't give a damn about DNA or videos and Posobiec and all these other people, Posobiec, probiotic, whatever the hell the name. Great. I don't care what you saw. You could see Tyler, hey, look at me, I'm running. Tyler's running. He's not charged with running. He's not charged with trespass. He's charged with murder. With what? Not being an accessory, not aiding, abetting, constantly procuring or hire, not being as an accessory or an accomplice. No. He's charged with being only one person because they say there is no conspiracy. It's just him. How did just Tyler do this? I don't care about the charger. I don't care about the exhaust. I don't care about the clothing. I don't care about whether he ate at the steakhouse. How did he do this? How? Ask Erica. Ask Tim Pool. Ask who? Ask Barnes or Viva or whoever you want. I don't care. Ask them. How are you going to do it? This is the most obvious. This is it. Gematria Wombat says, my cousin blew the leg off a moose with a 30-06. Well, there you go. It's a very, but you understand, we don't get to that. Do you know that if we found a bazooka next to it with Tyler's fingerprints on it, DNA, a bazooka, a flintlock, a musket, so what? You see that? You see what I'm saying? Doesn't matter. You know what a whole a bazooka would make? It doesn't matter. There's no linking to a bazooka. Yeah, but have you ever seen what a bazooka does? Excuse me. Why are you talking about a bazooka? The same reason you're talking about 30-06. What does it have to do with anything? Well, we found a rifle there. So, you see what I'm saying? Just tell me you understand this. Just tell me you understand that. We don't go any further. This is all moot. This is just a waste of time. It's just a waste. But if you want to go to it, just in terms of the whodunit part, remember, that's the trial part. That's the reasonable doubt part. As far as a whodunit goes, now, do we all agree that this wound in Charlie's neck is not a 30-06 or any other gun that we can figure out? Do you all agree? Do we agree that this most probably is not even a bullet? Do you want to go that further? I don't know, but do we agree this is not a bullet? Laura Ann says very demonstrably, Lionel, do you think that Tyler's life is in jeopardy in jail because the prosecutors know there won't be a conviction? Yes. Not because the prosecutors know, but the people who set him up know. Because, Laura, he wasn't supposed to make it past whatever it was. He was supposed to be dispatched. He was supposed to be dispatched. He was supposed to be removed, expurgated, bowdlerized, emended. You know what I'm saying? So, and remember this. If there was no Tyler, there's none of this stuff. No hearings, no preliminary hearings, no witnesses. We'd have to go into, rants and twigs and what did he write and the Discord file and how can you write a Discord note after you're arrested, and Lance, didn't you have access to the Discord file? Yes. We'd have to go through the stupidest prosaic. I think it was Rob O'Neill who said that whoever wrote this, it sounds like English was a second language. So, Laura, to answer your question, if there is no Tyler, there's no case, no problem, no headache. Let's move on. Charlie's gone. Let's go back and do our thing. You keep hitting the stage, Erica, and Colvette and Blake the Snake will do their insipid broadcasting. And that's it. It just ends. It all ends. Epstein ended everything. Nobody to talk, nobody to explain, nobody anything. But Laura, let me ask you this one. Here's my question. In fact, Michelle Catania says somebody else took Charlie out and foul play in the SUV, finished him off. We don't know. I don't think that there's evidence that I don't think that these guys were part of a hit team. It might have been negligence. I don't know. The official cause of death is, either gunshot or wound or projectile or blunt. This exsanguination, the bleeding to death, hemorrhaging, whatever it was. I don't think for a moment. I think that these were bumbling, oafish, stupid, incompetent retards who were part something called security. These are morons. Security. Real security people go through drills. They know what to do. Some of them have some kind of combat training. Some really don't know anything. They just want to go on the Sean Ryan show. By the way, that Sean Ryan is scaring me. These people are so stupid. This Tourette syndrome guy, the worst. All of them. There is no. Let me ask you something. Do you know anybody in the TPUSA crowd who was even remotely competent? It's like the people in the Trump administration. You know anybody there who's good? I don't know. But as far as finishing them off, no. I don't think that any of them, I don't think there's any evidence that these people are so cold-blooded. It's okay, let's get him. Oh, he's still breathing. Great. All right, do it. Finish him. Do whatever you have to do. No. I don't think put it this way. It could be there's no evidence. I can sit back and muse and, well, you know what? It certainly would benefit. It might be something that ultimately would benefit them. Cui bono, cui prodest. Yeah, that doesn't mean he did it just because I can come up with a scenario that explains that it might be in their best interest. No, I don't believe any of these people were involved in anything. Nothing. Now, why is a very simple reason. They're morons. They're likely to squeal like little babies, like scream and yell and squawk and rat and speak. I don't trust any of these people. Any of these people. It is that simple. Posobiec sounds like a brand of suppository. It does. It does. It sounds actually like a probiotic. It sounds like proboscis. It's a variety of. And by the way, he is such an arrogant shit. I'm sorry, but when I see him, it's like, first of all, who do you think you are, this guy? He is absolutely bottom line. When I see him with this look, he looks like he is, how do I say this? He looks like he is a, what's the word? I don't know. I don't know what the word is. He looks as though, first of all, he always looks like he's either, pardon my French, he looks like he's smelling shit like this. And he also looks like his goldfish died, like he's in the middle of a trauma. He has absolutely no sense of humor, no personality. And who is he? He said, well, he's Navy intel. What does this even mean? What does this even mean? Well, no, I'm serious. What is he even about? What did he see? This is the part which is the most important thing I want to say to you. Hey, Pasobiec, what did you really claim you saw? I don't believe people. Now, let me say this again. And this is the most important thing in the world. This is the most important thing in the world. If you really want to confound somebody, tell any of these idiots, say, fine, I don't care whether you saw him in the 4K video or not. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you saw him shoot a gun. I don't care any of that. It doesn't matter to me because the gun has not been found. You can't link him. I don't care. You see what I'm saying? It's that gun. All they had to do was say, yep, that's it. The bullet from that fire, that's a 30-06. We found a 30-06 round. The lands and grooves, I got a good sample. Yep, that's it. That is a match. Honey Butter says, hey, Lionel, I love what you're doing. What's your view on all the evidence that wasn't kept during the investigation? How is this possible? I think Ben Snake Spiro needs to be looked at. I really think he was involved in this. First of all, the evidence that wasn't kept during the investigation. Well, first you got to ask something. There's an issue which is most important. And it goes to the issue of something called spoliation. Spoliation is when you either use up evidence, you don't keep the evidence. How does that work? Let me take you through it. Let's assume you are charged with possession of cocaine. Let's say they can't find the cocaine they supposedly found on you. What happens then? What happens? Your case goes away because there's no cocaine. You can't prove the case. If they've lost evidence that they need to prove something, that can kill the case also. If they lost the evidence which could help you, then under Brady against Maryland, which is the requirement of the Supreme Court that says you must provide exculpatory evidence, meaning evidence that helps you prove your innocence. It exculpates you. It shows your non-guilt. So to back it up a little bit, to rephrase that, if they got rid of evidence, for example, the microphone itself, do we have the microphone recording? Anybody have this microphone? Was it connected to anything? Was it working then? Do we have all of a sudden, do we have the tape of this thing all of a sudden going boom? Kind of like you would if there was some type of a projectile there. Was it a working microphone? Let's follow through with Candace's theory. I mean, I've got no problem with that. Do you? If the case is, if the facts are far-fetched, then you don't mind me talking about it, right? Because I'm just crazy. Okay. Did the microphone itself contain a microphone? Did it record anything, or was it just a pretend microphone, a dummy microphone that contained a how do I say this? Some type of a shaped charge or PETN or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. If it really was a microphone, a working microphone, wouldn't you have a big boom? Also, where was the evidence when Candace showed us pictures of items at the back of the SUV that looked like glass, or I don't know what it is? Where is that? How did we get that? Next, This is a hit. Let me just say this. Tyler Robinson, whether they could prove the rifle or not, did not shoot anything. This guy did not shoot anything. And whatever he shot did not hit Charlie for a number of reasons. One, we don't believe he was even, he might, I mean, not that he wasn't there. That I don't know. It very well could be. I don't think that's critical. We know that if he used that rifle to fire a 30-06 and it hit his neck, there would be nothing there. It would be pink mist. There would be nothing. It would be so ghastly. So ghastly. Imagine this thing just flopping. What is this? Like a pumpkin that just pow, or just hanging on. I don't want to be too graphic, but it would have freaked people out forever. Marilyn says, when the time is right, Erica will find a way to make money on Charlie Kirk's gravesite or ashes. Love you, Lionel. Thank you. I love you as well. In fact, she might very well. Where is the why are we the only one asking? All those people who follow her, who pay the money, who believe in Charlie or believe in TPUSA, you don't want to, what? It doesn't make any sense. Does not make any sense. So going back to the original story, this apparently was something. Now the question is, if this was something that was not the 30-06 from the front, obviously, how do you make sure this thing, how do you make sure this thing by the way, this is this pebble I found. It is so smooth. It puts me in a state of zen by rubbing it. It's this beautiful, like a river rock or something. It's beautiful. Anyway, let's assume this is the microphone, the suspected shaped charge delivery weapon, whatever it was, and it hit Charlie here. See what I'm saying? This hit him here. And there's a way of showing this, and I don't know. They have dowlings and they have angles. And this, if it were to fire something, does not have any kind of spiraling. It doesn't have any kind of there's going to be a hole. There's going to be something that expels it. And you've got to you got to make sure this thing doesn't hit somebody over here, some innocent, grandmother, and they're going to say, well, how did this go off and hit him here? Could it be? I don't know. Understand this? You understand this? TPUSA trolls are here. Arr! Come on, bring them on in. Bring them on in. Have you wondered about this? There was cavitation and the Puglisi reflex. I like this. There was something also here, this, and we have to go through this and look at how it's the weirdest. It's the weirdest action. Tyler's in front. He has a 30-06. He hits the neck. The neck. Not the shirt. Shirt's going like this and this and what the hell? Who knows? It was so weird, and the necklace and normally goes straight. He goes straight in unobstructed. What's all this business? I don't even know what this is. What is it? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. We need more discussion on this. Laura Ann's kind of feisty. Said, Sir Lionel, do you think the jury will be manipulated like being threatened? No. They will no. and not threaten, it might be compromised. Like in the old days of Sammy the Bull, maybe they'll buy up a juror. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's even going to, I swear to you, it can't go to a jury. There's no evidence. There's nothing to connect. You can't have them rule on, what are they ruling on? If they find him guilty, how are they going to do it? Egyptian jet guy says, you mentioned Z Cohen earlier. She implicated herself in the Charlie Kirk case by calling Destiny livestream at the time of bang and told Destiny, we're effed. Could very well be. Listen, she is an avowed leftist. When she puts out a video, as she did today, of, how do we say this? She put out this piece that said from 2012 about how she believes that women in porn are, it's great. This Z Cohen said, this doesn't sound very conservative to me. So she produced it. Other than that, we probably don't agree on anything, but there's that. Our good friend says, Gematria Woman said, Wombat says, neck wound is an exit wound. Okay. An exit wound from where? Where's this side? Where's the other wound? If it's coming out, that's what people said originally. If you remember the very first week, the very, 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 very first week, there was like a Facebook, like there was a Marine feller, like a Marine. And he said that he said, look behind, they saw windows or something. He says, no, notice. And all of a sudden he saw a bit of a flash, or could be. And he said that was probably the shot, because he thought this was an exit wound. But you would see something here. Where's the entrance wound? This is an exit wound. Okay, where's the entrance? I don't know. We'll worry about that later. But like I told you, when you're dealing with murder and aggravated murder, it comes down to ballistics and experts and angles and expert and the caliber. And so this, there's got to be some. Now then look at it. If somebody says, for example, upon closer inspection, if they look at, one thing they do, which during the autopsy, and it's very, very brutal, not really brutal, but they'll take a dead person and they will x-ray them like it would kill us. But I mean, anything shows up, fillings, braces, a BB lodged in the whatever the hell it is. I mean, it's just. So, where was the entrance wound? Little things they're going to figure out. I don't know. All I know is, may I say something to you? You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to figure this out for purposes of Tyler, but also later on. Either way, he was killed, and we don't know by whom. We don't know. But you don't have to come up with a theory. You don't have to do this. I don't know. But like I was saying, normally they will look at everything. And if they say, hey, there's a hole here, there's an entrance here, that's the exit. Exit implies, obviously, an entrance. Where's the entrance? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Could be. I don't know. Might not be. It's a real whodunit. What's interesting is that, remember, during the let me explain something. The mic that might have been rigged with PETN versus something that expels a shaped charge, something that just explodes versus something that fires. You have to, in order for something to leave this microphone, this mic here, and send something this way, you have to have some type of device to direct it, either a barrel, a channel, as opposed to something just blowing up. He wasn't killed by lung trauma. The heart is here in the middle. But so PETN is good, but how do you explain the projectile? Stephanie Bell says the pressure from the mic explosion was to escape from somewhere, hence the neck wound. Okay, but the microphone blowing up or whatever, this, where did this go? What happened here? Let's assume this was the microphone, and it blew up, fire, whatever. What happened to it? I want to see, by the way, Charlie's chest here. I want to see his shirt. I want to see everything. That's going to be missing. Wouldn't that be great if all of a sudden, right where the microphone was, you see this area of burning, area of powder deposition, that you can look at and say, this was an explosive, because it will leave residue. You can have that analyzed. Hey, it's PETN. Okay, but once this explodes, what did it do? Our good friend says, Tiny says, do you think Charlie was really taken to the hospital? I think they said, yeah. I think the doctor said he was brought in, and the doctors weren't in on it. They were saying, yeah, they brought this guy in named Charlie, and this 6'3" guy came in, and yeah, I think so. Johnny Lane says maybe it was carotid pattern mic. Carotid mic. Remember, this was interesting. This is interesting. This is interesting. And this. Now we can come up with just being lay people. I also want to say, what is in the neck dissection? When the medical examiner looked and actually took the fragments from this area, put it in a plastic bag, what did he find? What is it? I bring in my experts. Look at this. Tell me, what is this? Could this be the fragments from a round, from a bullet, from whatever? Could it be? Don't know. Again, we don't know this. We can guess it. But if I look, and if I take very, very carefully inspect every aspect of Charlie's head, neck, this area, chest, I want to see it, because they will have pictures of him without a shirt. I'm sorry to say this, please, on the examination table, and they'll be zooming, and they'll have rulers and that sort of thing. I want to just see. I also want to make sure that they didn't. I want to know who was in the room, who was there when the autopsy was taking place, who will vouch for it, who is the doctor signing off on that, all these things. Now, with this exit wound, there normally should be some means of detecting the channels, the direction. In actual, believe it or not, in stabbings, they take a piece of like doweling, like a stick, and they will actually put it into all and find where it goes. And you will see people sometimes it looks like arrows, like they're on the stab, and they basically filed the angle of this. So where did this go? When it blew out, you can dissect it. You can dissect the neck, and you can see at what point was the trauma. If all of a sudden it's clear, and then right here, all of a sudden you start to see the explosive. Look at it. Look at the tissue. Also, analyze the tissue. Do you have that? Do you have the slides? What was around it? Is there gunpowder in here? Is there an explosive in here? What is it? What did you find? It's not a 30-06. What is it? If this is an exit wound, where is the entrance wound? Where? Maybe it's not an exit wound. Maybe not. I don't know. A lot of us are guessing and keep guessing. You're not held to this. You're not forced to say, You're not stuck with this. You're not saying like, well, we're going to go to trial and we'll never know. No, 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 no. And remember, for purposes of the trial, if there's no way to connect the gun, we're not going to bring this up at a trial. We're not going to bring up about exploding mics because Tyler is saying, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's irrelevant to the Tyler Robinson case. So it gets really interesting to see, and the experts, and you're going to get the best of the best of the best. Forensic pathologist. You want somebody who's really done a lot of murder cases and gunshot wounds. And it's fascinating. So let's, for example, stop for a minute and move this aside just for a moment. The next issue is, because everybody makes a big deal about it, the confessions. Let me ask you, did Charlie confess? Did Tyler confess? Did Tyler confess? Yes or no? From what you know, did Tyler confess, and to whom, and what did he say? What did he confess to? What? What? You ever had such a hard time with a confession? Have you ever had this? Have you ever heard this? The confessions are normally very, very specific and dead to rights. Okay? Now, what if, work with me on this. What if, crazy as it sounds, Tyler said, I am going to go. I am going to kill him. I am going to use this rifle. I am going to do it. And something went wrong. Maybe he fired something. I don't know what. But that wasn't the bullet that got him. It was something else. Either they had blanks in it, it missed, he never carried through with it. I have no idea. What happens if the facts are that what killed Charlie did not come from Tyler, but he was there? I'm just giving you this example. Think as a lawyer, what would that be? What would that be? Attempted murder? Attempted? How about conspiracy? Don't know who he's conspiring with. He doesn't even know anybody. He's an inadvertent conspirator. He's a part of something where, imagine you're there and all of a sudden you say, he has this rifle. He says, I can't do this. I can't do this. Wait a minute. I didn't do it. Hey, I'm the patsy. Thank you, Tyler. You just cinched your case. And the next shot you hear will be the sniper trained on you, which for some reason, I have no idea. If you're afraid gun expert, some 30 out of 6 is not traumatic. Great. Thank you. Some more and some is. What is your... Viva is a lawyer. Barnes was a lawyer. I would say, if you were asked to defend Tyler Robinson, you're not going to use the inconclusive evidence? Are you kidding me? You're not going to use this? When did they know? Imagine Sirhan or Sirhan. And that gun he had, that gun, what if it was inconclusive? It's like, we're not sure he fired him. That's it. Done. Well, he fired him. No, we don't know. Son of Sam, the 44 Magnum Bulldog, whatever. What if they couldn't link it? What? Let me go back to this. You're charged with cocaine. It's inconclusive. You're charged with DUI. Something went wrong. Something went wrong that night with the machine, the intoxilyzer, the intoximeter, and we didn't get a good reading. You're charged with DUI, and we have no reading. How do I prove you were drunk? Well, you look kind of drunk. Maybe you can get away with that. Maybe, because we used to find people guilty. But the thing is, there's no gun. I don't give a damn. What about 30 odds? I don't care. How about bazooka experts? Bazooka, H&K M4. I mean, what does it matter? I still go back to this. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, they want you to find him guilty. How? What did he do? I don't know. And remember, if we're successful in the motion to eliminate it, for some reason they don't mention any rifle. I'm going to say, so how? I don't want to open the door, which is another whole story. But so how did he kill? With what exactly? I don't know. But let's go back to the issue of the confession. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, he turns himself in. He confesses on Discord, supposedly. And by the way, remember, it was alleged that Lance had a copy or access to that account. He could have done this. He, she, it, they, whatever the hell it is, could have done this. All right. He says, look at this paper I left underneath the keyboard. Destroy it. They take a picture of it first and then burn it. Yeah, okay. Authenticating is going to be a real bitch, too. Well, this is what it was. Where is it now? Oh, I burned it. Okay. Then we get the best evidence rule, which is a whole other story, too. We get 403 evidence, which we talked about, authentication, all these evidentiary. Great. If you're into like evidentiary, nerdy, wonky stuff, oh, yeah. Oh, 403 evidence. And oh, you can get into some real good stuff with this. Evidence is the blast. That's the most fun. But so anyway, so it says, Mr. Robinson, yes. My name is Detective Sandsworth. Would you have a seat? Yes. Would you understand you're here to confess? No. Well, you know you have a right to remain silent, and yeah. Would you like to talk to us? No. Why are you here? I'm turning myself in. But turning yourself in for what? I'd rather not say. Wait a minute. What am I turning myself? Do me a favor. Let's all do this. Let's go to Laura's house. All right. Let's go to Laura's. We'll all get in the car. We'll get into the sedan. We'll go there and say, Laura, let's get Laura loaded and have her walk into her local police department and confess to a murder. Or no. Strike that. Laura walks in and says, I'm going to turn myself in. Why? Well, I'd rather not say. It doesn't make any sense. I've never heard of this. Son, what are you here for? I don't know. How are we holding him? Well, do we put you in jail? For what? You give me a hint. Well, just say, I know you're looking for me. Oh, okay. For the Charlie Kirk murder? Yeah, you're looking for me. Well, did you do it? I'm not saying I did. Johnny Lane says, chain of custody of evidence just as important as the evidence itself. Yeah. Normally it's important, but it's not even an issue. It's very simple. You know, you get it, you put it into a seal, you sign it. It's really never usually a problem, except in the O.J. Simpson case. When, by the way, not even did they have a problem with chain of custody. Remember, they left the blood sample on the dashboard in the sun, and so it's a whole nother story. But you're right, though, chain of custody can be important. Strata says, what do you think was being said on the phone between the scumbags in the car carrying Charlie and Shapiro? How about, hey, Charlie, this is what happens when people do what you did. That's rather romantic. I don't know. We can only guess. Michelle Catania says, there's a video that Charlie's cameraman said Erica doesn't want the truth out because it will expose her. Couldn't be. I would be extremely surprised. Extremely. If Erica was involved in anything. Anything. You don't want her anywhere near this. You don't want Blake the Snake. You don't want Colvett. You don't want them shitting in their pants and giving up everybody. No. But here is the thing. I'd say, you know what? If you don't mind me saying this to you, Mr. Turek and Mr. Whoever the hell you are, all you security people. Well, I got to tell you something. You can't do anything without looking fishy. You are incapable. First of all, you look fishy, number one. Number two, you do stuff that is incredible. Strata says, I think part of the ritual was being done in the car. Well, what are you saying? They're axing him. They're snuffing him. They're whacking him in the car. I mean, this is it. This wound, exit or entrance. I don't know. It was really put it this way. During the deposition, I love to say, Dr. So and so, can you testify under oath within a reasonable degree of medical certainty that Charlie was not dead, either at the time of the shooting, in the car, or in transit? When did you first notice he had ceased to show any signs of vital life? Doctor, is it possible that any of the treatment or non-treatment or attempted treatment or whatever this behavior was, as exhibited by the TPUSA people, could it have actually caused the death? Caused the death and caused it either through negligence, intentionally. Did they do anything wrong? The way CPR was, and you can take all the various evidence that was explained by how he was either on the ground or on the whatever. If the doctor says no, absolutely not, absolutely not. What's the most important thing in the world is the reason why this is a problem, the reason why this is critical, is that nothing they did could have caused this. It or that it could have led to this. We have something in many states called the Good Samaritan statute, and the Good Samaritan statute gives you almost a sense of limited liability. If you're driving along and you see an accident and you stop and you try to help and you try to render aid, if what you did actually hurts him, let's say the guy has a broken neck, cervical fracture, and you're doing something and you're trying to help CPR and you actually cause paralysis, a lot of people say, I don't want to help because I'm not an expert and I could make things worse. Many states will allow you a certain degree of immunity if you act in good faith. Gematria says, if the police say nobody shot him, I believe nobody shot him. And if nobody shot him, then that's the same nobody shot Tupac, MLK, etc. Well, interesting. Got to think about that one. Strata says, do you remember what the medical crew with the JFK assassination said? Yeah. The medical crew, you mean the doctors in the examination room, about how this part was missing? And they said a lot of things, yes. So remember, we're just guessing. And I cannot wait. Now remember, do we have an aggressive defense team? I don't know. Do we have an aggressive defense team that was saying, hey, listen, whatever we do, let me go back. Not that I would suggest this, but is it possible that we say we have an aggressive defense team that would say, in essence, we're going to make available at some point all of the information to the Candace Owens production company for their blockbuster documentary, Charlie, who killed, the young prince or something like that. Because all of this is for an audience to see. This is like loose change. This is Dylan Avery. It's incredible. Let me back up a little bit. I told you there is the whodunit part. The second part is the actual trial itself. The third part is kind of TPUSA and Erica. And then the other part is Candace, her take, her defiling, her execration and defamation by these subvirates, these horrible people, these tribids and spintry. Anyway, but what I want to see one day is the documentary. And I want this as my response. I want people watching the Charlie documentary to leave either the theater or their pad and say, holy shit. I would say we've got people here who are so shady, so underhanded, such liars from top to bottom, that while they're very well beat, there's certainly not at this point any evidence that they were involved directly, up to and including Erica. If I said, listen, I want you to act as shady as possible, even though you're not involved, but can you do it? They would say, oh yeah, you could not act as shady, as weird. And Erica, number one, she acts like she's not tuned into the station. There's not one reaction that's ever normal. It's always weird. It's like, and it makes people like you say, wait a minute, there's something going on. See, I just believe in evidence, but I would certainly say, keep an eye on her. Keep an eye on her. This is weird. But do I think she's a killer? No. She's a lot of things. She's not even handling this right. Do you realize if somebody really was good at this? I mean, if she was really smart, they would say, move over here, honey. Let a professional show you how to do this. She would start acting like a real wife. She would be doing maybe less public appearances. She would be doing more. Listen, there's really no reason why you have to have a public appearance unless you want the money for the appearance or something. But you can do everything online. But she could still speak. And she could talk about TPUSA. And she could talk about the programs and Charlie's legacy and how we are not going to let this stop his legacy. And right now we're going to open up more chapters. We're going to and never talk about herself. And if I said, listen, for the first 3 months, you can't talk about yourself. She'd say, what are you talking about? You can't. I can't do that. No, you can't. I can't do that. No, you have to. I don't want to. Erica, nobody cares how you're getting through this. See all those people there? They're suffering too. They presume that it's traumatic to have your husband assassinated. They presume that it's hard being a widow and the mother of children who lost their father. You don't have to explain this to people. You really don't. I mean, it's become a surprise to you. I mean, these people may not be the brightest people, but this they understand. Oh, no. Erica, stop reading the Bible. You can't do it. You don't know what you're talking about. Did you hear a thing about the book of Psalms? Did you read this one today? I played this today. Let me see if I can dig this up. Good luck. Let me see if we can find this. Good luck. Hang on a minute. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah, this is Erica speaking about, well, just watch.
The day to give up, and I want you to live so on fire for Christ that when you come home at night and you read the book of Psalms, you basically read your entire day.
What does this
That's
mean?
how I want you to live your life for Christ, so on fire. And that is how you will be rooted during the spiritual battle every single day.
Does she feel this? Does she understand what look at her? She's got to read
Yes,
this.
the battles will rage. They always do. But you trust God and you're fearless. You're not reckless, but you're fearless.
What does this mean?
We all have our race to run, but I just want you to be focused on the endurance of the race and not the acceleration of it.
That's not
There's
her
something
line.
really to be said for having that endurance and knowing the source of that endurance.
She's reading. She's saying, this is why does she do this? Erica, you can't do this. You don't know how to do this. You're looking down, you're reading, you're worse than that Dana Lash. That was the funniest thing. You know, I'd love to tell, this is petty, perhaps. Dana, you really think you're something, don't you? You really think you're something. And you've said some good things in the past. What were you smoking when you said, I'm going to go out there and read all of these? I'm going to chat GPT or use OpenAI to find every biblical verse using the word widow. What was that about? Seriously, what are you people thinking? Do you know anything about the audience, about the storyline, about what you're trying to put across? What are you doing? So I'm just saying, so why she's doing this, I have no idea. The others, Blake Neff is so creepy. If I had to cast a character of the, the stalker, the pervert, the bomber, the creep, this peeping Tom, the whatever it is, he's the guy. He exudes this. Why is he on a show that says the Charlie Kirk Show? He may have been very, very good as a writer with Tucker Carlson, which is another story. None of this makes any sense. Why you couldn't ask these people? I'm saying, if you want to know why you're the subject of such suspicion, look at yourself. You are the worst. Absolutely. So do you see all the moving parts here? Now, what I want to do is I want this production team already in place. And I want that documentary, Charlie, or whatever it's called, that's working on. And I want people to say, holy shit. And to say, what do you think about that, Ben? What do you think about that, Viva? What do you think about that, whoever it is? What do you think? Jem says O.J. Simpson was a widower. How dare you question him yet? Yes, you're right about that. So was Diddy, by the way. By the way, Diddy is in lockup because he had a bit of a fight, a bit of a tussle. So this is just incredible. Meanwhile, where's Charlie buried? Have you seen? Where's Mitch McConnell? What the hell's going on here? They wouldn't even tell you that Lindsey Graham was gay. We're not even sure about Epstein. What about the files? What about all those people? Remember DC Drano, was he one? And others they had, remember they hey, look, I got the binder. Look, every name you see right now, we're not a part of this. This is the alert group. This is the awakened, not the woke. We're not buying any of this. Absolutely none of this. And when people see the collection of this from top to bottom, and they really say, are you done with the Erica apologies? Because remember what I'm saying. Candace never said she had anything to do with this. Never. Now, how she reacts is a different story. That's different than being a part of this. My friends, was this not a blast? Give yourself a big hand. Give yourself a big hand, a big, huge, just you are incredible. I want to show you something else which I had today, which is kind of interesting. I want to show you this. And it's been bothering me. I mentioned Sean Ryan. And Sean Ryan had this piece he did with Tucker. And I don't know why it bothers me. I like him. I don't know him. I think I would like him. But he needs not help, I don't want to say it, but he needs a friend. Watch his reaction, watch his eyes. Tell me what you think this is.
I was a part of that institution. I wish I never was. And
you wish you were never a Navy SEAL?
I mean, I don't regret it. I enjoyed my time there, but I mean, I obviously don't align with the ethics and and whatever value system they're going off of, which doesn't seem to be much. But anyways, the point being is that's just one institution inside of the U.S. Navy. That's it. One small, like very SEAL teams, very, very small.
I'm not sure we're
part of the U.S. Navy. And then he's talking about Ranger Battalion. And then there's all these other units. And it just made me think, it's like, man, like this is just one war in one small part of the U.S. government, very small part. So that means every single U.S. institution out there is doing the same shit. Obviously CIA, obviously FBI, everything, all Congress, all of the Senate, everybody in it, the presidents, everybody.
Do you see the pain? Do you see the pain of this? Do you see the anguish? You know, somebody says he needs a hug. This is where you want to sit down. You want to say, I want to talk to you. I want to take this away from you. It's going around in you. It's bottled up. And I don't think you understand. First of all, you have to absolve and disconnect any involvement you have in this, because you have no involvement whatsoever. It's such a fascinating subject. We have such a fascinating array of people, up to and including the greatest is Candace. Did you see the other night when we played the video for watching Charlie, and just the look in her eyes? It was the most beautiful thing. I never saw Erica look like that. Never saw Erica look like that. And remember one thing, Erica came out like this. Get out of the way. I'm here. Here I am. Listen to me and don't say anything. No, Erica, you asked for this. You wanted this. You didn't have to do. You took this thing on and you basically said, I'm going to say what I want, when I want. And anybody who disagrees with me, fuck you. Nobody here ever started off saying, we don't like you. We didn't know who she was. And I'm not going to go through this either. If you have to ask, what has Erica done? You don't know the facts of the case. You don't know the facts of the case. So my friends, I want to thank you. I want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, my heart. Thank you for this. Thank you for the wonderful contributions. Thank you for making, wasn't this a great Saturday night? What did you do? Saturday night's all right for fighting. Mr. Saturday Night. This is the best. I love being with you. Love it. Tonight from 2 to 5 a.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be on Another Side of Midnight. That's wild. Because they don't have your complexity. They don't have your suspicion. They don't have any of that. And not because they're short-sighted. They're mainstream media. You're from a different planet. You're from... This is why I love you. We're the conspiratorium. That's what we are. In any event, my friends, thank you. Please like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're still subscribed, because sometimes they're unsubscribed. Please hit that like button. Very, very important. And make sure you accept my absolute thanks for being with us. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious night. You were magnificent. We'll pick it up tomorrow. I don't know when. Just stay tuned. Until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dad.